Most of relocating buyers make these mistakes either relocating to Arkansas or relocating to any other state that costs them thousands of dollars and instant regret. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing those 5 mistakes so you don't be a part of that problem and ultimately you make a smooth transition to wherever you're headed. What's going on, guys? My name is Cody, realtor with EXP Realty. I help sellers get the most amount of money and help buyers find the next best deal. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want more valuable content just like this. And be sure to follow all my social medias if you want more valuable informational content. So let's waste no more time. Let's jump into the 5 mistakes before you even start packing your bags. And what are the biggest mistakes that you don't make when you're relocating? Number 1. Photos don't always tell a story. Guys, trust me, if you're working with or if you're an agent, or on top of that, if you have an agent who's going into another state, always have somebody go in there and do basically a virtual tour. For example, if I have my buyers, whenever my buyers are relocating to Arkansas, I always recommend them, hey, go look at the property. I would go record a video for them. I record every single piece of that property to make sure that's exactly what they're looking for and not hide on anything. Because you got to think about it. Whenever you're relocating, you're really relying on your realtor's eyes and basically that video that realtor is sending you. So ultimately, what I would recommend if you're not relocating to Arkansas, if you're not working with me, but if you're working in another state, if you're going to another state, always have photos, always have a detailed video. And on top of that, if you want to add a little bit extra to it, get some drone footage. Ask the seller's agent if you can do a drone around the whole property. If you're relocating to Arkansas, I'm going to be having these videos for you to make sure that you are not missing out on anything around the property, inside the property. You get detailed, but make sure you have everything around that property scaled and looked at. Number 2, ignoring traffic patterns. This is an interesting one that I added to the list because I recently had a relocating buyer that's going to be relocating in December. We looked at a few houses, and first of all, she loved the house. She loved it. Everything looks great, but she didn't look at the street, and the street was a big factor to her because it was on a busy road. She was not looking for something on a busy road, and that 15-minute drive that it may look like on a Google map may turn into 5-10 hours because you got to think about it. People are, whenever they're relocating, they want to look inside the city limits. They want to look inside wherever they're going, what the time frame is, how far they are from work. And on top of that, if they're not actively looking if it's a busy street or not, it may look like it on Google Maps. Hey, this is like a private road, but it doesn't look like that until you have somebody go out there and visually inspect it. And number 3, overlooking property taxes and insurance. Now, this one is not relatively a most frequent asked questions, but some buyers actually skip over this, and whenever they do relocate or they do they like a property and they end up seeing the property taxes and the insurance, they get spooked away. And it's crazy because relatively us realtors, we would think that the buyer is doing some type of research on the property taxes if we haven't given them already, but ultimately this is just a small factor. This is something that's going to come into play if you make a move without fully doing all your research and you find out that this is over your budget or something like that. You're going to be wasting a lot of money. It may be something that you're not interested in, which I said in the intro. You don't want to be that guy that's going to be wasting a lot of money without fully doing all your research. And number 4, you got to choose your neighborhood lifestyle. Now, ultimately, obviously, you're going to be looking at the property. And once you get all your photos, another thing a buyer is going to ask, what is the neighborhood like? Is the neighborhood safe? This is common questions. This is something also your realtor should be doing. Not only just, taking pictures and photos of the property, take a video of the entire neighborhood. Look at what you're dealing with. And ultimately see, what are you relocating to? Are the neighbors cool? Obviously you don't want to make it look weird, recording everybody around the neighborhood. Ultimately, you want to see what you're dealing with. You want to see who you're living with. So ultimately, make sure that the lifestyle, the neighborhood is something that you want to be a part of, and make sure that everything is great, especially video-wise, especially the feedback-wise that you get from your agent. Lastly, number 5 is you want to get pre-approved. I'm going to preach this every single time I make a buyer's video, especially if you relocate it doesn't matter. Always get pre-approved because you'll be surprised at how many people actually skip this process and actually do everything else and not get this. And for example, I recently, had a showing for one of my listings. And, the buyer loved it. The buyer liked all of it. We're going to get an offer for it. And come to realize he's not even pre-approved. And, obviously that's not my fault. It's obviously there's something on the realtor side that they should have got pre-approved first. But I'm always going to preach this because this is an important step before you even do all of this, before you even put a realtor to work. So make sure you get number 1 done before you do any of this. And that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video on the mistakes that relocating buyers actually make. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want more videos like this. And also tell me, which mistake have you previously made in the past that you always, say, I'm going to make sure I do this, especially if you're relocating to another state. Like I said, guys, be sure to follow all my social medias if you want more valuable content like this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's get it.